Here I am at the age of 23 years old. I'll be 24 on the first day of the month of March. And growing up, I've literally been able to see technology become the most important things in our daily lives. And don't get me wrong, I do not hate technology by any stretch of the imagination. I definitely love it. I love having my iPhone. I love being able to play my Xbox. I love being able to watch all these different things from my Roku TV. I love technology, but one thing that's really been hard to watch, because I've seen this happen before my very eyes. A lot of people, all ages, little kids, people my age, people older than me, they're so easily influenced by the internet. They're so easily influenced by trends, and it's slowly taking over my beloved game of basketball. I feel like the NBA, from like what I've been seeing these last couple of years, how they promote the sport, who they're promoting in the sport. The NBA right now, they care about storylines and they care about clicks and impressions more than the purity of the game, and more than purity of the game in basketball. And I think our beloved Detroit Pistons, and I think our number one overall pick, Cade Cunningham, is one of the biggest examples of that in the NBA right now, because I think the NBA, I think they should be paying really, really close attention to Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons. But we seen last year when the Detroit Pistons were so easy to root against, when they were so easy to laugh at last year, when they went on their historic winning streak. For some reason, that made the Detroit Pistons the talk of the town. That was getting the Detroit Pistons national attention from ESPN, getting them on Sports Center almost after every single game. So that's what the trend was. The trend was to laugh at the Detroit Pistons, to make fun of the Detroit Pistons. You had guys like Kyle Kuzma, who thought it was okay to go to Twitter and make fun of the Detroit Pistons when he's not even really like that himself. And then we fast forward to this year, and we have Cade Cunningham, the number one overall pick. And if you know anything about the game of basketball, and if you watch basketball and you've seen Cade Cunningham play, you will know that he's not no ordinary basketball player. He's a special talent. So what I'm getting at here is that if you're in nowadays with the internet, if you're not a number one overall pick and you're not coming out of high school with some type of big social media attraction, like when we seen with guys like Zion Williamson, and we seen with guys like Victor Wembanyama, when they're coming into the NBA, they have all this crazy hype. So the NBA is going to automatically choose to promote these guys, even though they're not necessarily the best product when it comes to playing that game of basketball out on the basketball court. And I feel like that's exactly what Cade Cunningham is. And Cade Cunningham was a player that he's sticking with his franchise. He comes in to get drafted by the Detroit Pistons, and they literally have nothing to work with. They don't have no former All-Stars. They don't have no high-quality NBA players. When he comes into the league, he has Jeremy Grant. They get rid of Jeremy Grant. They bring in Bogdanovich. Neither one of those guys really played any games for the Detroit Pistons. And Cade Cunningham has never wavered once. He has never complained once. He has never put the organization down once. He has been a model citizen and a model basketball player. And we get to this season where the Detroit Pistons, still really no former All-Stars around him, no crazy big NBA names, but the Detroit Pistons, the new front office manager, Trajan Langdon, he's doing the best he can right now, and he gives Cade Cunningham just some complimentary pieces, and that's really all it took to get this ball rolling for Cade Cunningham. Just think about this: the number one overall pick in the draft, to get things rolling for his franchise, all he needed was Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, and Tim Hardaway Jr. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put those guys down by any stretch of the imagination, because they have been lights out and they have been outstanding for the Detroit Pistons. But we got to think about it. These guys are not some of the best players in the NBA, like we see with other number one draft picks, some of the guys that they're able to play with, or even some of the guys that came into the NBA with Cade Cunningham. And this is what was really frustrating me with all these redraft lists, and they're taking all these guys above Cade Cunningham. But when you have Evan Mobley, when he's getting drafted and he has Jared Allen, and he has Darius Garland, and then the team goes out and get him Donovan Mitchell, that's a whole nother different ballpark than what Cade Cunningham had to go through. Same thing with Scottie Barnes. Scottie Barnes was drafted, and he was able to play alongside NBA champions and all-stars. He was able to play alongside Fred VanVleet. He was able to play alongside OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and all of these guys. That stuff makes a huge, huge difference. And we look at Scottie Barnes right now, when all of those guys are gone from the team, he's now figuring out that it's a completely different ballpark when you don't have that support by your side. So now you have Cade Cunningham. So like I said, I think he should be getting so much more attention because he was the #1 pick in the 2021 NBA draft. A very elite draft class, by the way. A very loaded draft class. Jalen Green is in that draft class. Alperen Sengun, Evan Mobley, Scottie Barnes. I believe Franz Wagner is out of that draft class as well. So many loaded guys out of that draft class, and Cade Cunningham, in my opinion, he's the best player out of it. So you have Cade coming into this year, sticking with his team, still publicly letting it know that he wants to bring the Detroit Pistons fans, the city of Detroit, he wants to bring back basketball glory to his city. Like I don't understand how the NBA is hearing this, seeing this, and this is not something that is being like this. This is something that should be on ESPN every single day, because Cade Cunningham, not only is he saying and doing the right things, but he's actually playing like a complete monster, a possessed monster on the basketball court. This year has been amazing for him. Career highs all across the board, and these aren't no ordinary numbers. He's averaging 24.5 points per game. He's averaging 9 assists, and he's averaging 6.6 rebounds per game. He's flirting with a triple-double every single night. He's third in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. He's either third or second in the league in triple doubles, and the other two guys that's in his company is LeBron James and Nikola Jokic. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing out here? And there's this Twitter account, man. I should have went and looked. He posts his Cade Cunningham highlights after every single game, and the caption that he uses, and I thought to myself, I was like, this is probably the most brilliant way I probably heard someone describe the way that Cade Cunningham plays the game of basketball. He said, but these are the most ethical hoops that you will see, and I could not agree more. I think Cade Cunningham, it is so refreshing and it's so fun to watch him play, and he has a very high usage rating, but it's different. Every single dribble, every time he has the ball in his hand, it is getting put to a productive use. He's directing traffic. He's getting guys in the right spot. He's not out there looking pretty, pounding the air out of the basketball. If he is extensively dribbling the basketball, he has his back to the basket. He's playing to the post, man. He's doing it in so many different ways. Everything is so efficient, from the way that he breaks down his opponents, the way that he runs the pick and roll, his post game, and then his passing ability, the way he sees the court, man. He makes these passes so effortlessly, and he sees the plays developing so early. So I think Cade Cunningham, I think he's been outstanding this year. I'm hearing all these, it's like a question mark about the All-Star game. If Cade Cunningham isn't a guaranteed lock for the All-Star game, I know something is wrong with the NBA, because I think he's the best point guard in the Eastern Conference right now. I would take him over Jalen Brunson. No other top point guards in the East is coming to my mind right now, but I'm dead ass. I would not take any of them over Cade Cunningham. So he has the Detroit Pistons fans. More and more fans are starting to come to the games. It's getting louder and louder in the arena. They're winning big time games on the road. They won, like, the Detroit Pistons have won 10 out of their last 12. I promise you, probably nobody outside of the Pistons community, the Pistons fans, nobody probably knows that, and it's honestly a shame to go from what they were last year, and then just a year ahead now they're beating the Knicks in the Garden, and Cade Cunningham and Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr., they're closing out games at the Garden. Got Karl Anthony Towns walking to the bench crying, and it's not really getting on national attention, but that just goes back to my original point. It's just the times that we live in. The NBA, they're gonna chase the storylines that get them the most money. We see LeBron James, Stephen Curry on their way out of the leagues, and don't get me wrong, you won't find a bigger bronsexual than me. I love LeBron James, but these guys are no longer the best guys in the NBA, and instead of focusing on the purity of the game of basketball, the NBA, they're focusing on that money. It's all a money grab. So I just had to get that off my chest with you guys. That's what I want to talk about with you guys. And one more thing, I said this in my latest video, and I want to say this in this video as well, because this fan base means a lot to me as well. I know I haven't been uploading as much about the Detroit Pistons, but I've definitely been seeing these boys going crazy. But my 2025 got off to a very rough year. To begin this year, lost my grandfather. Very close man to me, probably from age 4, as long as I can remember being a human being, up to finishing high school and going to college. I probably saw my granddad 6 out of the 7 days of the week, almost every single day. He lived right up the street from my mom's house. My mom and dad, they worked throughout the day, so me and my little brother and a lot of my little cousins would get dropped off at my granddad's house, and he essentially played a huge role in taking care of us. So losing him, that was pretty tough. I had to take some time for that. And then when I did get that urge to record, man, somebody gave me a nasty case of the flu, so I couldn't even really talk for real. So I'm healed up now. Definitely still grieving, but talking about basketball, talking about what I love with you guys, it definitely makes me feel a lot better. And I just want to say thank you so much to you guys, the Detroit Pistons. I'll never forget when I started doing YouTube, the first video that I ever said, like, wow, like, you know, I can really keep doing this. It was a Detroit Pistons video, talking about Cade Cunningham. They were playing in the summer league. This was before Jaden Ivey got here. This was Cade rookie year, and out of nowhere, after I uploaded the video, probably like 2 weeks later, I checked it and it said 4,000 views, but the video probably only had like 500 or 600 views, and it got 4,000, and it was a Detroit Pistons video. But I've been making videos on the Pistons over like the last 4 years, and you guys have been so big time for me, talking in these comment sections about the Pistons. The guys that hasn't been so happy with the Pistons, the guys that's been happy with the Pistons, I love all those comments, and I definitely appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you again, man. The Detroit Pistons, talking about them on the channel has done a lot for me, so I'm so appreciative. But enough of that sentimental stuff, man. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.